review of 2%. Well, indeed, let's get to our first conversation this afternoon. Now, the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, M.A.N, is asking the federal government to prioritize indigenous manufacturers in the Lagos Airport fencing project. Director General of the association, Mr. Segun Ajayi Kadri, made the appeal in a statement made available to newsmen in Lagos. Recall that the Federal Executive Council approved rehabilitation of the Muritala Mohammed International Airport, that's the fencing of that area. Now, Mr. Ajayi Kadri commended the federal government for its effort to sustain national infrastructure. The M.A.N DG stressed the importance of prioritizing indigenous manufacturers, noting that they had regrettably lost out in similar situations in the past, disclosing that importing fencing materials would undermine government's policy and deprive Nigerians of critical benefits therein. My guest is Mr. Paul Alaje. He is a partner, senior economist, SPM Professionals. He's live in our Lagos studio for this conversation. Mr. Paul Alaje, it's good to have you to discuss this. Good afternoon. Thank you for coming to Lagos.
Thank you so very much for having me. A beautiful afternoon.
Yes.
A wonderful studio here.
Thank you so much.
Very fantastic.
Thank you. It's really good to have you in. Well, let's get to our conversation. Just like I was reading through that introduction, Lagos Airport Perimeter Fencing Project. Now, my first question will be, where does the issue of upholding Nigeria's first policy and protecting our local industry, where does that come in when we still have a challenge like this as identified by M.A.N?
First of all, we need to put this into perspective. It is good that the president and the FEC feels that we need to sustain our national infrastructure, such as our airports. And I also think that it is correct when the president signed the order 003, order 005, which of course border around Nigerian first policy. And if you check what the world is going through now, not just in Nigeria, several parts of the developed world are also looking at their nations first. Donald Trump says American first. So we must do something. It does not mean we are not going to trade with the rest of the world. So here is it. We have such important renovation, facelifting, in this case, perimeter fencing for clear view of the Lagos airport. Yes. Now, the government has issued out bidding, and we have a lot of very competent Nigeria that can provide us with such, many of which are members of Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. Just a caveat, I am not a member of Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. Yes. I'm an economist, and I have a reputation to protect, not just because of this nation, also because of what I represent around Africa and the rest of the world. So I have to say what it is. Now, it is good that our government consider this. I heard when people said, no, it's waste of money to want to renovate airports in Nigeria. I said, no, I am in complete support of such innovation. But the question is, where will the money be? And that is the conversation for today. Who is going to get this money? When we don't use Nigerian manufacturers to build such fence for us, or most importantly, use Nigerian material, we are losing three things. Or maybe out of three things, we are losing two things. Number one, we'll see the structure, we'll see the building. But where are the jobs? Will the jobs remain with us? And what happened to our foreign reserve? Just last week, I had a conversation with you on Nigerian foreign reserve that grew to $41 billion. And we were all saying that, oh, it's a major boost from where we were. But look at it. When we now use the same reserve to import building of fence, then we are losing. So what we have gained in non-crude exports, what we have gained from crude exports, number two, what we have gained from borrowings, what we have gained from remittances coming from outside Nigeria, if we spend those on importing materials for building fence, for instance, and I'm not saying fence to undermine it. No, that's not what I'm saying. It's what is important. It's what we do all over the world. We are losing jobs. We are losing even confidence among those who are Nigerians who want to invest in this economy. So, government have taken a decision that we need to renovate airports in Nigeria, especially Lagos Airport, which I think is important. Yes. The question is, where will the material come from? List all the material you need for that job. The good news is that we have all of them within, and some of them outside Lagos. But what I can assure you is that from Sokoto to Lagos, from Maiduguri to Calabar, and the rest of the states that are inside, Nigeria has what it takes. So Nigerians might have not won, which is okay, because we have Nigeria do business outside Nigeria. But the materials that are needed are in Nigeria. So if we need to comply, it's a wake-up call for all the ministry and parastatal that are involved. We must comply with the President's Order 003-004 Nigerian First. And when we do this, we are not only promoting our own, we are promoting our nation, we are making our GDP. You know, I spoke vehemently on the GDP.
Yes,
and people wonder, where did I get the numbers from? This is a concern. When we don't use material in Nigeria, your GDP will be affected. You say no. At the end of the day, we say consumption plus investment plus government expenditure plus, say the last one, which is export minus import. Now, when your import increases, that is, you are not buying from Nigeria, then your foreign savings will shrink. When your foreign savings shrinks, what happens to the overall national income? Well, of course, which eventually in macroeconomics will affect your investment. There are three types of savings. You have personal savings, you have corporate savings, you have government savings. Now, when you look at a national income context, then you now need to look at the savings for business and household together. Then you look at the government savings together, which is different between tax revenue and government expenditure. Already, for over 20 years, as long as I can remember, our budget has been on the negative. Already, that is a negative savings that we have using national income accounting so that everybody understands. But what now happens to our foreign savings? Are we importing more than we're exporting? And when we have opportunity for such to be in Nigeria, honestly, 100 out of 100. Let me say 101 times out of 100, I will stay with Nigeria.
Thank you so much.
In this case, I think, so long as the thing have not started, I trust the people in aviation. For instance, Honorable Minister, I've spoken very clearly about him. And people thought maybe I know him in person. I don't. But you see, I got to know some of the intervention he personally made, and he may not know this, on Nigerians and the UAE.
Yeah,
and I can tell you what the kind of intervention he went the extra mile to ensure that the integrity of Nigeria is not at stake. And you could see what the central bank governor also did, making sure that we clear the backlog for with Emirates Airlines. We have made gains. Now, because of the love of country, because of the love of our country, materials to be used in such fencing, to my mind, from iron rod to cement, to water, to all of that chemicals, we have all of them in Nigeria, except and unless. But from the research I did, at least extensively yesterday, I think we have them. And I was not surprised. Immediately when I saw M.A.N
reacting to it, because they have their members who can do this. You see, that's why I'm worried. I had to do a lot of research too myself, and I'm looking at how are we balancing national interest. You know, looking at how do we put it side by side, talking about local content. You know, we're talking local content on one side, and we're talking about national interest here. We're talking about promoting a good economy. How do we balance all of this?
Those that have opposed this from little conversation is that, oh, your president, Paul, your president is going over the world inviting people. Yes, I support foreign investment.
To attract investments into the country.
But when we also go and invest outside Nigeria, they tell us to use their own local content. So don't let us put it together.
Good.
Inviting nations to come to our, individual and business people to come and invest in our nation is the right thing to do. So you will never see me criticize the president going out to invite people, to invite businesses to Nigeria. No. If I were the president, I would ensure that we have substantial foreign investment in Nigeria. And I said, if you want to even see an indicator that your country is going, check. Your country will suddenly be looking like rainbow. You'll be seeing different color, different people in the same nation. That means there is high-level confidence across the world to invest in your country. But what will not happen is that you go to a country and you are buying everything, including labor, everything from your country,
own country,
and you are dumping it on them. No, they will not agree. Especially when they know that their population needs jobs, when they know that their reserve has issues, because we have gotten to the limit point of about $40 billion. Now we are on 41. So we are just above the waters. We still need to go to the likes of 60, 70 billion dollars to stabilize. So we can cover more than a year. We can cover about 18 months import cover. But when we know what we have, and a number of persons told me, oh, this is capitalism. That has nothing to do with capitalism. That is cutting your nose to spite your face. We cannot, as a nation, I will advise, allow what we have to be imported into our territory when we know that we have competent manufacturers who can provide us with such and compete with the rest of the world. So if this happens, just imagine this happen. You've seen, I don't want to mention any country. A country mentioned, I saw online that Nigerians are there to take their jobs. Nigerians are there to take their jobs.
Yes,
it is not
yes, I remember.
It is not our fault that we are the largest in Africa.
Yeah.
It is not our fault that our people are industrious. You know, the former president of blessed memory says, oh, Nigerian youth are lazy. I spoke with you among other TV stations that I don't agree. Why? Because I have been privileged to travel in different parts of the world. Nigerian youth are very hardworking. It might not be all. We might have seen few that are lazy, and I don't disagree with that. Yeah. But I've also seen
it can be generalized
in Europe that their youth are even they are lazier than Nigerians. But what we need to do is opportunity, and this opportunity we have created, Lagos Airport fencing. It's an opportunity. Who will work there?
This is not an issue of standards. It's not an issue of mechanical expertise. Research also shows that we have competent Nigerian companies that have proven capacity to make these materials available.
So our job will now be, we need to follow the money. Government has approved, FEC has approved. That perhaps is the, according to due process, that is the organ to approve. It has been approved.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, when that's approval has gone, money needs to be released. Where are we buying from? Why? Because remember that there are reports, World Bank and IMF report talking about Nigerian revenue. In spite of the good work FRS chairman is doing with his team, in part of the work that has been done by Mr. Oyedele regarding the new tax bill, where will this money come from? Hold on. When we spend this money out of Nigeria, we have purchased out of Nigeria. What happens to potential revenue? Revenue that government would have collected on tax if that had been produced in Nigeria. So we have a lot more to lose if we don't allow those things. Iron rod, thick one, 32 mm, 25 mm, 16 mm, they sell all of them in Nigeria. And thanks to God, Lagos is a hub. If you are not in Lagos, there are neighboring states, including a number of them in Southeast, where these materials are and they are produced. So, and if you speak with manufacturer yourself, I was privileged, I think, last month to be their keynote speaker at the Abuja's, Abuja, I think they have their annual retreats in Abuja. So I was privileged to speak to manufacturers. And I am that close to understand that right now, as much as we are faced with some economic issues, when opportunities like this come out, it should go back. Because when you see a country where manufacturers are not strong enough, the truth is that you have sandwiched growth. So for us not to sandwich our growth, what we need to do is, honestly, my advice to authorities is that if we are going to have something like that again, maybe not this time, because I understand that this is not the first time this is happening.
This is happening in that report.
This is the second time that I know. Yes. Maybe more time, maybe but the second time that I know. Now, this is not the first time. Now, if we're going to have something like this, I think we should give priorities to Nigerian manufacturers so that if they don't do well, we can call them out. You see, when heaven falls, those of us that are Nigerians, we are still here.
Yeah.
Those who lost faith in the country, quote unquote, Jejapa. But you and I are still in here. TVC. We are still in the studio. Do you think we don't have options to travel? We do. But we chose to stay because of one thing. We believe, even though it looks stupid, that Nigeria will be better. But let's choose to their eyes that we are stupid. But when opportunity now comes, it should go to manufacturers. Why? The local manufacturers, we look at people we have in the universities, in polytechnic, colleges of education. Which country can absorb all this jackpot that we have spoken about? Not up to 2 million Nigerians traveled. In the last 1 year, that relocated, not up to 1 million. Oh, we take all of us. Our population is over 225 million people.
Yeah.
What percentage? We're not even done up to 5%. We've not even done up to 2.5% of people that left. So majority still reside here. So I am not saying that we cannot partner with, we cannot give jobs to companies that we feel might have succeeded. That's not my argument. My argument is the materials. Where are they located? Although I would have preferred we give it to Nigeria.
Honestly.
See, because whether the Nigeria is from the north, it's from the east,
that doesn't matter.
I don't care where you come from.
That doesn't matter.
Your religion does not matter to me. Your tribe does not matter to me. What matters to me is that we carry the same passport, called the green passport, the Nigerian passport. So that even though people might disdain it outside Nigeria, but here, we cannot. We cannot against.
I remember clearly when the Minister of FCT was commissioning projects, you know, as always, he's always doing that. And I saw on 2-3 occasions where he referred to some local contractors and said, oh, at first I was not sure, but at the end of the day, when he saw the work, he commended them and said, yeah, I believe so much now in local. We're talking about Nigeria First initiative. That is what pricks me most. The president is talking about Nigeria First now. So
I'll say 2 things. You see, you may not like the FCT minister for many things. But this is one thing. That is why you will hardly see me speak against him. And a number of persons have sent me private mails on, we have never heard you spoken against Wike. I said no. I said, listen, I'm an economist. I'm not a politician.
Yeah, true.
When I measure what Wike has done in Abuja, I live in Abuja. See, to be honest, that guy is a worker. You might not like his style.
Yeah.
It's not important to me. See, economics does not tell me, check the style. Economy told me, is he working? I can mention 1, 2, 4, 5 roads that were bad that Wike fixed. I can mention 5, 6 things that Wike has done. Can I say that for all?
No.
Only 2 ministers have done something similar. But in 2 years, Wike seems to make me feel that in the last 8 years, there was no minister in the FCT. I wish he can balance it the way he works, balance it in politics, so that he will be the best guy. But you know, politicians have their way. That's his own style. So some people like his style, some people don't like his style. I will not get involved with him in politics. But this is business we are talking. We are talking business Nigeria. And this is business of Nigeria. Now, someone like that have used local contractors.
Yeah, I commended them openly.
Today, I can only count 4 governors that are doing close to what Wike is doing. Of course, your governor here in Lagos, I'll give it. I've seen rail tracks. I've seen where it was not, and there is continuity. I've also seen the partnership we have with NRC. That's your governor here. I can see movement. I've seen what the governor in Oyo has done. From challenge, the road was not good because it's not only when it is wrong. I say them when they are right. Today, I will give it to few stars that we have that are doing well. Or should I talk about the passport man?
The Minister of Interior.
Minister of Interior. I have seen it work. Why? Because I have gone in that gate and they open on their own. The same thing is what I experienced when I travel to some Middle East country, when I travel to Europe. In fact, there are some European countries, they don't have that technology. But he has done it. Should we credit him? Yes. I've seen a few ministers, including this Minister of Aviation. I just told you what our findings about his personal contribution to make sure that Nigeria is not seen as a country that you can banish.
That's our agreement now, Nigeria to Brazil starts.
So when that starts, what will he save Nigeria from? Can he help us end insecurity? Can he help us reduce? So now, the content here should be Nigeria. Look at that. Then I was on radio. When somebody in Ministry of Works, not this time, I am referring, I think that was 2016. We were together on an Abuja radio station. And we were discussing national income and why Ministry of Works, what they should do in terms of infrastructure. And the man said, he personally does not trust Nigeria contractors. And you can predict what will happen when I'm in the studio. Of course, we never agreed. till the end of the show. What am I saying? We have Nigeria, except you want to tell me that we will scrap engineering, architecture, all those courses from our university.
Yeah.
So
because
we know that we just import. Because how will you be a professor, a doctor of, say, engineering or architecture or whatever, and authorities, the biggest spender of your country, don't trust you, don't believe you are competent? Then there is an issue here.
There's a problem. So
I think, you know, we need to now look at on who needs to take responsibility.
Yeah, for this.
I will start with the Mr. President. Mr. President, see, this is your country. The truth is that if these materials are not imported from Nigeria, it will show in the GDP numbers.
It will.
People will wonder, but you've made all the reforms. But this is an opportunity. Revenue you've gotten from FAC that has been shared, that has gone to the federal government, please plow it back into the system. That is what we're saying. I want to make it very simple, very, you know, if you take the money back into the system by buying from Nigeria, you can also oil that circular flow of income, because FRS will come, we take his revenue
tax from
these people.
I was about to highlight
those
that.
Those people will now help, they will create jobs. When they create jobs, there is confidence, then their experience level has also improved.
True.
Other airports can say, who are the people that did Lagos? They can call them and say, use our home material, but taxes will go back to Nigeria. That is how we build a nation. Number two, the people in procurement, give our people consideration. One of the policies of government I spoke really vehemently about in Nigeria and outside Nigeria is Nigeria's first policy. In fact, that was the topic I delivered, the keynote speech I delivered at M.A.N. Nigeria's first policy. And this is where it concerns me, because it must be Nigeria first. I've been to a few countries, and to be honest, I never felt like one of them, because this is my nation. You hear restriction, you hear policy. Why? Because one, you are black. Two, you are you are a Nigerian. So when the opportunity comes like this, please, I'm not saying we cannot allow foreigners to come and do business in our country. That would be wrong. That would mean segregation. But I am saying that once we have the materials, we need to do everything to make it grow and to make our nation better for it.
Interesting conversation, as always. Just wrapping that up, I was just like job creation, foreign exchange savings. You identified that. And of course, the issue of tax, which you talked about here, increased tax revenues for government earnings and strengthening industrial base and security through self-reliance. This remains key. But let's see, this is going to be a continuous conversation. The DG of M.A.N, Mr. Segun Ajayi Kadri, is joining me for this same conversation tomorrow. And we're going to talk about this because it's something that they hold so much, the passion for this. They really want to get involved in this. A parting shot from you as we wrap this up.
No, a parting shot from me will be, what kind of future do we want to have? The one that we wonder when we get into it, or the one that we'll create deliberately? I strongly believe leaders around the world want a future that the future generation, the generation that will live in that future, because we possibly may not be here in the next 60, 70, 100 years to come. Some of us may be lucky in the next 50 years. But people that will be here at that time, what would they have built? What economy would they have built for them? Because at the end of the day, policies affect prices. Prices affect people. People affect those that will be in power. And those that will be in power, we go back again and affect policy. Policy we make today and who we use, of course, we have a lot of determination of our future, now and in the future.
Mr. Paul Alaje, let me get a handshake from you. It's good to have you in the studio. Thank you for coming in to, bear your mind on this very important topic. Mr. Paul Alaje is a partner and senior economist with SPM Professionals. Good to see you again in Lagos.
Thank you so much.
All right, then. Enjoy the rest of your day. All right, then, with that's our show today. Thank you so much for being a part of it. I'll see you same time tomorrow where we'll be talking more business. Stay safe and always get the cash.